Welcome to Gaming Alchemy, everyone. Today we are going to be continuing our Get Ready for Game Night series, and we are going to be talking again about Nemesis today. And we're going to be giving you some tips for surviving as long as possible in this semi-cooperative game slash solo game, because it can also be cooperative as well. But my number one tip is to stay together, at least in the beginning, because if you move to a room like this that already has someone in it, or even if it has an intruder in it, you don't have to roll for noise. So normally you're going to roll for noise every time you move into a room. You're going to have to place a noise marker in that corridor. And if you ever roll that same number again later on, you're going to bring an intruder into your room. And that is bad. But if you have a character in a room already and you move into it, you don't have to perform a noise roll. So that can be extremely helpful, at least in the beginning. When you are just starting out, you don't have much for better weapons or equipment yet. That can be very helpful, even if you are trying to kill or have one of the other characters die, or if they're trying to kill you, it can still be helpful to work together in the beginning. My second tip is to make sure you search those red rooms and the green rooms for sure. If you're in a red room, those are my favorite rooms. You need to be searching those rooms because you are going to be getting energy charges from them, which is going to help you load your weapons again. And you are going to need to load your weapons a lot in this game, especially for someone like the pilot who only has 2 ammo, and I think the mechanic too. I don't know, I think there's 2 characters that only have 2 ammo in their starting weapons, so you are going to need to reload them quite a bit. And also in that red item deck, you're going to potentially find this extended magazine, and there's only one of these in the game, so you want to be the first one to find those. But you're going to need these energy charges like no tomorrow. So search those red rooms and you can potentially maybe even find a better weapon. There's not too many weapons, like extra weapons in the game. So that is key. And also these green rooms are incredibly important because you are going to get injuries. So you can get light wounds or serious wounds in this game. So if you ever get your 3rd light wound, you're going to take a serious wound card, which is going to have an effect that's going to suck. So this one says each time you pass in the player phase, your character suffers a light wound. And if you ever have 3 serious wounds and you take any more light wounds or another serious wound after that, you are dead. So you really want to be taking care of these serious wounds. Otherwise you will perish very quickly. So you want to be searching those green rooms because you are going to find things like med kits, which let you dress a serious wound. So once they are dressed, they become flipped over, and then they don't, the effect doesn't affect you anymore. Or it lets you heal a dressed serious wound. So now when it's this way, it's dressed, and then you can actually heal it. You can also find bandages in there, which aren't quite as good, but they let you dress a serious wound or heal all of your light wounds. So green rooms and red rooms are super key. Yellow rooms are also good. There's lots of useful things in there as well. But that is my second tip. Make sure you're searching those red rooms especially, but those green rooms as well. My third tip is going to be to craft a flamethrower. So there's certain items you can craft, and they're called crafted items. And they take 2 symbols to craft them. So it says we need a flame and a screwdriver. So here's an example of a flame and a screwdriver. And if you're the mechanic, you can use any yellow card as a screwdriver because not all of them have symbols on them. So you can discard these 2 and get yourself a flamethrower. And now you don't need an energy charge to recharge your weapon. You can use, or you have to use the chemicals, which are only found in the yellow deck, I believe. So if you're the only one that has a flamethrower, you're the only one that's going to be needing these chemicals, which can be very handy. If everyone's searching for energy charges, you can grab the chemicals, and this flamethrowers are awesome because they got 4 ammo, and you always deal a wound except on a blank. You just have to be careful. If you roll doubles, then you place a fire marker in the room you're in. So you can start a lot of fires with them, but I think they can be super helpful to help you kill intruders pretty nicely. And if you do leave a flame token in the room you're in, then the intruder is going to get an injury every event phase. So that can also be handy as well. So my 4th tip is to make sure you are putting out fires in rooms and repairing rooms. So these little malfunction markers mean the room doesn't work that you're in. So if you ever have 9 of either token on the game board, then you lose the game instantly. So as a team, you all do need to be working towards putting out fires and repairing these malfunction markers. It also helps because then you can actually use the room that you're in by getting rid of these. So it's kind of funny having, just told you to craft a flamethrower and then tell you to put out fires. But if you can manage all that, that can come in really handy. There's this fire control system that lets you initiate the fire control procedure, which means you can put a fire out in any room. And it is a number 1 room, so it's always going to be in play every single game. So it can be handy to have, somebody putting out fires once they get to that room. Unless you really are just trying to sabotage everything and watch the ship burn. That is an option too. But do stay on top of that because there are event cards that will spread fire or spread malfunction markers rapidly. So you do want to take care of those before those happen for sure. And my 5th tip for surviving as long as possible is if you ever have 2 serious wounds, you are going to want to heal those as quickly as possible. That should be your number 1 concern, because there are attack cards like this one here that says all characters in the room who have at least 2 serious wounds die. All other characters in this room suffer a serious wound. And there are more than one of these types of cards. Now, this will only happen if the queen or the butcher, or not the butcher, I forget what they're called, the next biggest intruder attacks you. So, they have to be out on the board, but just know that that can happen. Here's another example called bite, which means if just the normal size intruders attack you, you are also going to die if you have 2 serious wounds. And if not, you suffer a serious wound. So there are in there. So you want to be healing your serious wounds, especially if you have 2. But if you have 1, I would say make that a priority too. Just get them off of you so that you won't potentially die. But it is helpful to know that going into playing this game so that you aren't surprised when it happens. You can also heal yourself in the emergency room. Right here, you can treat your wounds. It costs you 2 action cards to do, but if you don't have any green cards, you can always try to find the emergency room and heal yourself that way as well. And my 6th tip is if you have a larva on your card, so sometimes you'll have to do a contamination check, it's called, or infection procedure. And if you ever have one of these contamination cards and you're told to scan it, so you put it in this scanner like this, and if it says infected, so this one is not infected, but if it ever said infected, you would have to put a larva on your character board. And that's bad because if you ever have to do that again and you already had a larva on your character board, then you instantly die. Or there will be event cards that say any character that has a larva on their board is immediately dead. So you want to be taking care of that larva right away if you happen to get one, and you can remove them in the surgery room. So this is a green room and it lets you remove that bad larva. So you are going to want to find that room and start dealing with that. And our last tip for the day is don't use all the cards in your deck, or sorry, in your hand. if you can help it. I mean, sometimes you can't help it, but you always get a hand limit of 5 cards every round. And if you ever get an intruder into your room, he will attack you if you have less cards than this. I think it's equal to or less. So this is only 2. So as long as you had 2 cards in your hand, you'd be okay. But if you only had 1 card in your hand, he would surprise attack you, which is those attack cards that I showed you. So something like this, you know, this is only the queen would attack. So if the queen's on the board, you're fine. But if the character has at least 1 serious wound, they die. That's even more horrible. So the queen can be really nasty when she comes out. But if you can help not spending all your cards, sometimes that can be nice to hold on to a few just to try to avoid surprise attacks when they happen. And with that, those are some of my tips for surviving just a little bit longer aboard the Nemesis. It's a crazy place and lots of crazy things can happen, but it's an amazing experience and one you won't forget. Some of my most memorable gaming experiences have happened in this game. So with that, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, everyone.